You know, it's exciting to experience huge progress in LGBT rights. The Supreme Court seems poised to recognize full marriage equality this summer. But for all the progress, we have far to go. Consider this. The Florida legislature is now debating a bill which would send you to jail if the potty police see you in a restroom not labeled with the sex listed on your birth certificate. Recently, the transgender community struggle was highlighted tragically when 17-year-old Leila Alcorn, who was born Josh, died when she jumped in front of a tractor trailer. Her suicide note says, quote, "The only way I will rest in peace is if one day transgender people aren't treated the way I was. They're treated like humans, with valid feelings and human rights. Gender needs to be taught about in schools. The earlier, the better. My death needs to mean something. My death needs to be counted in the number of transgender people who commit suicide this year. I want someone to look at that number and say, that's fucked up, and fix it." Fix society, please. Goodbye. Signed, Leila, Josh, line through, Alcorn. Today we have 3 of Broward's LGBT youth to speak to us. Megan Morales is president of her high school's Gay Straight Alliance. Cypress Bay High School in Weston. She's only sweet 16. Megan.
I'm also really short, so. Feel you. First of all, I want to thank you all for everything you're doing. To be in a room with so many successful people is an inspiration. And I would have memorized this speech better, but I was at Gay Pride yesterday without my dad's permission, so. I'm just going to be honest and hope that you can all understand. Okay. The first time I heard the word queer, I was exploring the aisles of what's now ancient history. Blockbuster. I came across this DVD of a TV series called Queer Duck, and I was about 9 or so I didn't really understand anything. The first episode was called I'm Coming Out, and I asked my mom where the duck was coming out of. She told me not to look at those kinds of shows. I didn't understand why I couldn't watch a show about a rainbow duck. I mean, he seemed like a fun guy. The first time I heard the word queer, I just repeated my speech. I'm going to start back to where I am. Queer was once a word that was used to tear us down, but now it's a word we use when we're standing up proudly. I identify as queer, which is an umbrella term for anyone in the LGBTQA community. The first time I heard the word bisexual, it was in 6th grade when my best friend Andres told me that his dad hit him for liking guys. I wanted to assure him that I was there for him and that I would accept him no matter what, but honestly, I felt uncomfortable, like gay was some kind of disease and I was gonna catch it. Well, I definitely caught it because here I am 5 years later and I'm the president of my school's GSA. Thank you. The first time I heard the word transgender, well, I don't remember that, but I definitely remember the first time I met Adrian. This beautiful boy was sitting alone outside of a cafe and I had to talk to him, so I definitely did. I went up to him and I got to know him, and the more I got to know him, the more I learned about him, like his musical talent and his sense of humor and the way his left eye closes when he laughs. But the only thing my parents could see was the fact that he was 17 and still didn't have any facial hair. When my parents found out that Adrian was transgender, they called the police and threatened a restraining order against him. They told me that he was a girl pretending to be a guy in order to get to me. I dated Adrian for 2 years in secret. I joined my school's GSA in secret. I learned that being part of the LGBTQA community meant doing a lot of things in secret. I often hear people say, oh, it's 2015, it's totally fine to be gay. But then I hear the same person call their friend a fag in the hallway. I read about the murders and suicides of innocent people like Leila Alcorn and Matthew Shepard. I hear people call Laverne Cox a crossdresser. I learn about the laws in other countries that make it illegal to be who you are. I learn about the laws in my country that make it illegal to marry the one you love. A while ago, I went to visit colleges with my dad. During UF's college tour, I saw their campus's LGBT club, and my dad said, of all the things this college has to offer, you want to waste your time with that? My school's GSA raised around $800 for AIDS research, treatment, and education programs. We raised money to buy a club member his very first binder, which binds the chest so the chest can appear flat, because his parents wouldn't help him. We hold events for holidays like Coming Out Day, Day of Silence, and Transgender Day of Remembrance on our school campus, where we raise awareness and promote acceptance. Now you tell me if that's a waste of time. My father says that events like this are the ways that the LGBT community shoves its lifestyle in people's faces. But what is the gay lifestyle really? Being courageous and brave every single day. Promoting self-love, acceptance, and tolerance. Encouraging people to be themselves. Rocking rainbow. In my opinion, everyone should be a part of this gay lifestyle. I realize that I'm extremely privileged to be born where I was born, to have parents that despite everything never kicked me out, ended up letting me join GSA, and let me come here to speak today. I want to make this privilege mean something. I want to utilize it to make sure the world's in a better shape by the time I've left it. I am queer, I am proud, and I am passionate. Okay. I've been trying to find a way to describe how passionate I am, how much this means to me, and how important our activism is, but I don't think the English language was prepared for this. Everything we stand for, all the changes that we're making, and all the lives that we're saving, this is not a waste of time. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I've just been told to remind everybody to bid on the silent auction items because all of the money we're raising is going to these Broward youth. Our next speaker, Jordan Shaw, is 17 years old, attends South Plantation High School, and serves as president of the Gay Straight Alliance. Jordan Shaw.
Hello, everyone. Thank you. Hello, as you know, my name is Jordan Shaw. I am going to share my story with you. My first big life lessons, it's kind of hard to see with the mic here, so... Oh. Okay. My first big life lessons were being different is not okay, and stepping out of your gender roles is a big no-no. As a young kid, I played with dolls because it was simply fun to me. I stopped doing it as openly because being caught gave me so much anxiety. I eventually stopped out of fear of being judged negatively, and my sexuality wasn't even a factor at that point, but it already taught me to fear and conceal what others didn't perceive as normal. Yeah. As I got older, I started realizing I liked guys and not girls, but that wasn't normal. So I tried to conceal my feelings because I feared being judged, people treating me different, and my religion growing up was a big part in my life. And I'd pray to God to change me because I didn't want to go to hell, and like that's what I was taught to believe. And thinking back on that, a kid thinking that is so crazy. It's absurd. And where was I? There we go. Thank you. To me, my life was such a big lie based around fear, and I honestly felt like I couldn't embrace both my religion and my sexuality, so I chose my sexuality because if I didn't, I felt like I wouldn't even be here. And next page. So I turned to the internet as a way of expressing myself and finding people like me to talk to. I watched my fair share of coming out videos, and one day when my mom was taking me to school, I went to her window and I said, "Mom, I like boys, not girls," and very hastily made my way to school. When I eventually graduated private school, kindergarten through 8th grade, I joined my school's Gay Straight Alliance my freshman year, and since my sophomore year, I've been president. And being president has led to, I'm just gonna talk to you because reading is obviously not working out. So, so basically, since my sophomore year, I've been president, and that has led to like so many opportunities. Like I am a part of a Broward County Youth Council under Planned Parenthood, and I'm on a Safe to Be Me coalition, and it's given me the opportunity to speak with you lovely people, and it's really good to know that you guys can come and unite, because part of my life, like I want to always be able to have a group like the LGBTQ group that I can always like connect with no matter my age or my profession. So I think that's really great that you guys can come together and celebrate who you are. And since being in GSA, I have become more open and happy with myself, helping create the safe, open environment that I didn't have growing up. So it's really great, and like just being the president, it just really makes me happy helping others, and that's it. Thank you.
Our final speaker, J.C. Grant, the old one of the group, is all of 18 years old, attends J.P. Taravella High School in Coral Springs. J.C. was president of the school's Gay Straight Alliance Club for 2 years and is now a youth facilitator for a youth group run by the LGBT organization SunServe, one of our previous charitable donations at one of these galas. JC has spoken to future foster parents about ways to care for LGBT youth in their homes. After high school, watch out, JC plans to pursue a career in law. As well as to be an activist for LGBT rights. And I would ask those folks in the back of the room, could you please keep it down to a dull roar, because these folks came all the way to speak to us and they want to be heard. Thank you.
Excuse my sweat. Don't worry about that. I just want to first start off by thanking Leah for inviting me. I'm so tall, I'm sorry. For inviting me to this event. I'm really glad to be here.
Back there. Please be quiet. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
We're almost going to be done with the program. These are really important people to us. I have some closing remarks. If I could have everybody in the back, and I don't want to call out names, please be quiet, because this is really an important time for these youth. This is an important time for us. Please just give us another 5 minutes of your time. Thank you. JC.
Thank you. Starting over again. I want to thank Leah for inviting me to this event and for SunServe telling me about it. it's just, I never thought in my life I'd be in this position, being able to stand up here and talk in front of so many people about my experience in my life. So I thank you all for coming here and seeing me. When I was asked to come today, I was asked about how I overcame adversity. When I was asked to describe this, at first, I was really unsure what to say. The definition of adversity is difficulties or misfortunes. Those answers to me, though, are far too common. Everyone faces difficulties and misfortunes on a daily basis. It's a part of life. But my life and my adversity is different from just your basic misfortunes. My life was a struggle of becoming a new person. Why do I say that? Well, I was born male to female transgendered, which basically means I was born genetically male, but my mind and how I felt about myself and how I saw myself was female. Before I came to this realization, though, my life was a whirlwind of troubles. I always felt wrong, as if something in my life was constantly missing. I soon became depressed and became extremely overweight because I used food to handle my stress. And it wasn't just the stress of knowing who I was or that I was already so different, but the stress of being bullied to the point that I had to have a teacher come to me at home because school wasn't safe anymore. As if that wasn't enough, during this time, I was in and out of foster care. In spite of that, I was fortunate enough to have a new set of parents who listened to what I was feeling. It was in this environment that I was able to come to the realization that I was transgendered, and that changed everything. The once little boy my parents knew was becoming a lady. Regardless of this, they both accepted me and loved me unconditionally. So as I had the support of the people close to me, I started my transition to becoming a female. Once I did that, my life changed drastically. My depression virtually disappeared. I began to lose a lot of weight. I found people who were my age, who were like me, and accepted me for who I was. It was at this moment I realized that it is possible to overcome hate, hardship, and pain. I could walk away from all the people that ever treated me like I was nothing, that ever said, no, you can't be that, or you can't do that. In general, they were telling me, you can't be you. But I said no. I said, I can be that. I can be me. It was as if I was a caterpillar that was trapped in its cocoon and finally broke free and became a beautiful butterfly. I grew from all the hate and all the sadness that I faced. I was me. I was JC. And I wasn't the weird fat boy whom everyone hated. I became the funny, loud, outgoing girl I was always meant to be. Not done yet. I became that person, because I never gave up, and I had people in my life who wouldn't let me give up. That is how I overcame adversity. Not all people, though, have the strength or the support that I have. That's why it's important that people like you, the people in this room right now, protect the LGBT plus community, specifically LGBT plus youth. If we can implement the idea that people like myself are not weird or abnormal or deserve to be killed or hated on, we can make this world a much better place. Thank you.
Oh, JC, sorry.
Very briefly, I just want to say one thing, and that is that the Gay and Lesbian Lawyers Network has decided to launch an educational grant. We have decided that we are going to commemorate the memory of our first treasurer, Calvin Steinmetz. And we have decided that in Cal's name, we are creating the Cal Steinmetz Educational Grant, which will be administered through our fund. And so the goal is to help the community by providing an internship to qualified law students to work with our fund to help provide grants through the community to continue in Cal's memory and his legacy. And so those of you who may be interested in providing funds for that, we will be searching you out in the coming months, and we will be announcing the membership and the application process, and hopefully by our holiday party we will announce the awardees. Thank you.